The Mauyra Empire, Chapter 5, Section 3. Essential question: what were some of the major achievements of Osaka in his rule of the Mauyra Empire? The Mauryan period of Indian history was really inaugurated by the conquest of northwest India by Alexander the Great in 326 BC. This seems to have destabilized the political situation among the Aryan states in the region, and the first great conqueror in Indian history was Chandragupta Maurya, and he became king of Magadha in 321 BC. After he conquers the throne of Magadha, he proceeded to conquer the part of northern India which still remained outside Magadha's borders. Chandragupta expanded the Maurya Empire, and soon it was almost all of the Indian subcontinent, and he also created a strong central government. One of the ways that he did this was he used spies to help him keep control over his area. He also had a huge army. He had 600,000 foot soldiers, 30,000 cavalry, and 9,000 elephants, which that's a whole bunch of elephants. He also taxed the people heavily to pay for all of this. Ashoka was ancient India's greatest ruler. He was the grandson of Chandragupta Maurya of Magadha, who we just spoke about. When Ashoka succeeded to the throne, he tried to complete the conquest of the Indian peninsula. In the course of his conquest, however, Ashoka became so disgusted by the cruelty of warfare that he renounced it. He adopted the peaceful doctrines of Buddhism and declared that henceforth his conquest should be conquest of religion. He set up inscriptions all over land rehearsing the teachings of Buddha, and missionaries were sent to Kashmir, Persia, and Ceylon. But soon after Ashoka's death, the Mauryan Empire disintegrated. And like I said before, he conquered by war, and in the movie we saw that after a certain battle, so many people were killed and he was just disgusted by it. So he started to rule by the Buddhist teachings. His policies were carved into rock pillars, and we're going to take a look at one of those in just a second. And Buddhism attracted people to join as monks. He let others worship their own religion, so he practiced a policy of tolerance like some other leaders that we've read about. He made a lot of improvements. In the video that we saw about him, it said that he built hospitals, waterways. He just improved the area for the people. He also allowed people to travel, which is going to help the trade. After he dies, after Osaka dies, his policies die with him. Now, around this time, because of Osaka's spread of Buddhism, you start to see a decline in Hindu worship, the worship of Hindu deities. A lot of things kind of lead into this. One is that the ceremonies are very kind of complex, and it didn't allow for people to easily connect to it. And also that things were written in Sanskrit, which was a very hard language to read, and people felt distant from the deities. So many people turned toward Buddhism instead. So what happens next is that some poets begin to write praise to the deities of Vishnu and Shiva, and these poems or prayers are starting to be written in a common language for the people. And what this does is it helps renew the people of India's love of Hinduism. And so this renewed interest occurred about at the same time that Buddhism begins to decline. And eventually Buddhism is lost, and it really kind of just moves to China, and Hinduism becomes the main religion of India. So please write down notes. Watch this video twice, write down notes, and then you'll also need to read the section. We will have a Kahoot for review, and I will look at your notes for a grade. Have a good night.